Hey guys, this is Travis, and today I'm giving you a new deck profile, a deck that I'm going to call Plants and Zombies Quasar, something like that. It's sort of a strange idea. It's sort of like taking the Synchron engine, taking the plant engine, and taking a very small zombie engine and meshing them together. And it was just an idea I had. I thought about Zombie World's interaction with the field and how everything becomes a zombie, even in the graveyard. And I decided that playing the Mizukis as Monster Reborn kind of cards could actually help make Quasar really consistent if it works. So I'm going to give you the deck profile, and then I'd like to hear your comments and feedback and see what you guys think. But so far in testing, it's very consistent. I can make Quasar, if not the first turn, by turn 2 really quickly. So yeah, I'm going to show you the deck and explain a little bit about the card choices. So I'm playing 3 Junk Synchron, 2 Quick Draw Synchron, and 2 Unknown. This is basically the engine I use every time I play the Synchron deck. I find that 2 of the Quick Draw and Unknown work very well, and 3 Junk Synchron just helps you make level 5s pretty consistently. I'm thinking about bumping up Quick Draw to 3 because in the deck with the zombie engine, you really want to be able to discard stuff even more often, so it would be even more helpful to have 3. So, but right now it's 3-2-2. That's the way I've always played them. And then I also play 2 Doppel because you get free tokens, 1 Quillbolt because you can special summon it to the field whenever you have a tuner, 1 Synchron Explorer, 2 Level Eater. So basically the main cards in the deck, Level Eater, free level 1. If you have Quick Draw and this in your hand, you already have Junk Warrior, which is pretty nice. And then your Doppel Warriors, you can special summon these like all the time just because everything's coming back from the graveyard. And then whenever you use it in tandem with a level 3 tuner like Junk Synchron, you get tokens and you can go into formula or whatever it is you want. For the plant engine, I'm playing 2 Lone Fire, 1 Dandy, 1 Spore, 1 Glow Up Bulb, and 1 Debris Dragon. So I count Debris as part of the plant engine because it's mostly for free Black Rose plays. These cards are incredibly useful. Glow Up Bulb in particular, whenever you open with Lone Fire, you can go ahead and send the other Lone Fire to the grave and then go into Glow Up Bulb, and you basically have 2 synchros already open to you. Another option is to go into Spore because Spore is level 1, so you can go into Formula, and then you can banish out your Lone Fire to go into level 5 using it and a token. So that's pretty helpful. And Dandelion is a great card to be milled. You get 2 free tokens. Sometimes I'll Lone Fire into Dandelion. It's just really nice. And then Debris Dragon sets up Black Rose play, so if you do get behind in the game, you can always nuke the field. So yeah, that's the entire plant engine. Alright, so the zombie cards. Very simplistic idea. 2 Mizuki, 2 Zombie Master, and 1 Plague. Basically, the idea is to activate Zombie World as soon as possible, and then use Mizuki to Monster Reborn stuff, and use Zombie Master to Monster Reborn stuff. So imagine having Zombie World in the field, and having this in hand, and Glow Up Bulb in grave. So you can basically normal summon this, discard a monster card, special summon Glow Up Bulb, and then go into Librarian or whatever you want to go into. It's pretty awesome. And then Plague Spreader is good to be milled, and sometimes you can discard this with Quick Draw. You can mill this with Tuning, or you can use Foolish on this. But I'm considering taking out Plague for a 3rd Mizuki, just because the level 2 is really awkward. So it's not that good. But yeah, the Zombie Master at 2 and Mizuki probably at 3 is going to be a really nice number. And if you don't, the problem with this is, another problem is, whenever you have the plant cards, like Spore specifically reads that you need to banish a plant to bring it back. So if Zombie World's active, you can't do that. So one problem you have is making sure that the Zombie World doesn't conflict with the plant engine. So you just have to play around that, but I found in testing that it rarely ever conflicts. So you either can go into one or you can go into the other most of the time. I also play 2 Card Trooper because this is nice with Debris for making Black Rose, and it speeds up the deck a ton. It lets you mill 3. And 1 Raikou, because Raikou has really nice interaction with Junk Synchron, and it also lets you mill 3. if you draw into it, and you get to pop something. So those are sort of the little mini turbo engine, I guess. And then lastly, the last monster, one Dark Arm, because Dark Arm lets you destroy your opponent. It's very easy to get 3 Darks engraved for this, so Dark Arm is very easy to utilize in the deck. If you draw into it, it's never bad. If you mill it, oh well, because it's not part of Quasar anyway. Okay, for the spells. There are no traps in the deck, by the way. Play 3 Tuning because it searches all the major combo pieces. And then 1 1-for-1 because it searches all of the other combo pieces, basically. You can go into Level Eater, you can go into Spore, you can go into Glow Bulb, whatever. And my last searcher, 1 Foolish. Basically a searcher because anything I'm willing to Foolish is probably going to be coming back from the grave. Or you can Foolish a Mizuki to get a free Monster Reborn, etc., etc. Or Plague Spreader if you have to, but I'm probably going to take Plague out. And then I play 2 Terraforming and 2 Zombie World. So basically the reason you play 2 Terraforming and 2 Zombie World is if you don't draw into this really quickly, Terraforming searches it. If you do draw into it and you get it, you can deck thin. Whereas if you play 3 Zombie World and you draw into the 3rd Zombie World, you can't deck thin. So it makes it a little more consistent to play 2 and 2. Then I play 1 Book of Life because it's a themed Monster Reborn. When this is on the field, you can Monster Reborn any of your tuners, you can Monster Reborn your plants, and then you get to banish something from the opponent's grave. This card would probably be worth playing at 2 once I bump the Mizuki up, and then it will be useful against Burning Abyss for banishing their stuff. I also play 1 Allure of Darkness because you play so many darks, it's hardly ever dead, so draw 2 cards. And then the last 2 cards I play were basically just to steal games. 1 Soul Charge. Once you've used all of your resources, you have a free Quasar, almost always with Soul Charge. And then 1 Burial, because once you've used your Mizukis, you can bury them back into the grave and then use their effects again. Or you can get your Lone Fire back into the grave and reuse that for Spore. Or whatever you need, so. No traps in the deck, just didn't have room. Okay, for the extra deck, it's very standard for this type of deck. I have 2 formula. You go into this all the time. You can make it really consistently. 1 Armory Arm. I'm thinking about changing this to Phonon Pulse Dragon, but Quasar with Armory Arm and Armades with Armory Arm is really good, so maybe not. But Phonon Pulse Dragon would open up more synchro plays. For level 5s, 1 Junk, 1 Armades, and 1 Librarian. You go into these cards every turn. There's no way around it. These 2 and these 3 you're going to go into. Most of the time you can make 2 level 5s and a formula on the first turn. And when you can't do that, you can make them by turn 2 or 3 very easily. And if not, the other extra deck cards are basically just for making sure you survive and win the game, even if you don't get Quasar out. So I play 1 Drill Warrior. Relatively easy to make. It's a nice combo piece too. You can make him with Quick Draw and a Level Eater. You can make him with the plants and your Junk Synchron. Just a nice level 6. And then I play 1 Junk Archer, which is probably a little bit easier to make for level 7. And Quick Draw plus Synchron Explorer is also this, so that's pretty good. You can banish out your opponent's XZ monsters and make them lose their materials, make them useless. Play 1 Black Rose because it's so easy to go into and it lets you reset the field if you're behind in the game. 1 Stardust just because instead of Spark I play Stardust because Formula plus Stardust will give you Shooting Star and that's not really a bad thing. 1 Junk Destroyer. You can make him relatively consistently. If you have Level Eater engraved, Quick Draw on the field, and Dandelion, you can Level Eat the Dandelion and then use the 3 of them to make this and pop 2 cards, which is really cool. And then you can, use your Dandy tokens or whatever you want. So he's really good. I chose not to play Road Warrior in this deck because Road Warrior is better for special summoning Unknown, but you don't find yourself needing him a lot with the plants. If I made a more Synchron-oriented deck without the plants, I would probably play Road Warrior because he's really good. So I play 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend just to wreck the field. 1 Beelza because Beelza is really hard to deal with once you get him out. And then I play 1 Shooting Star and 1 Quasar. And you can make Quasar, like I said, very consistently in the deck. Shooting Star comes out sometimes. If your opponent kills this, then you can always special summon Shooting Star, and then they have something else to deal with. BLs is nice when you're playing the zombies. It just gives you something else to do. But if I take the the Plague Spreader out, I may take it out because that would mean the only thing that can get you into him is Unknown, and most of the time you're trying to make formula with Unknown. So probably not going to keep him if I cut Plague Spreader, which would just free up another spot in the extra deck. And I also want to show off my cool homemade tokens. I have one Firewing Pegasus token, one Guardian Yatos token, and one Cyber Dragon token. I just think they're really cool. They look really awesome with the foil. And then I have my Gores token, which came in one of the legendary collections. But yeah, that's the entirety of the deck. You can test it out, test out the ratios of the zombie cards, see what you like. If you want to play it without Zombie World, I would definitely recommend 3 Mizukis and 2 Zombie Master, because then the only thing you could go into would be each other, and it wouldn't really help a ton. But with Zombie World on the field, you can, and you're not worrying about planets. With Zombie World on the field, you can do all kind of really awesome graveyard control management and stuff like that. So yeah, just test it out and see what you think, and leave some feedback in the comment section. Tell me if you think this deck has any chance of consistently making Quasar, and if so, what are some really cool combos you could imagine happening for that. And yeah, like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe to my channel to see more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. You can leave requests for decks on there, you can leave criticism, feedback, whatever you want. Share this video on your social media or on your channel so other people can watch. And that's all I have for you. So this is Travis signing out.